using social media is a crime in Iran. But TikTok generation, Gen Z, young people are like teenagers everywhere. They know how to bypass filtering and using social media. The government, they have guns and bullets. They have power. They have money. They have prison. They can easily execute people. But our weapon is our social media.
Since widespread protests began last September, following the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini in police custody, authorities in Iran have weaponized internet access, blocking popular social media platforms, strategically slowing the web, and shutting down outside connectivity altogether in some regions. The regime has clamped down on web access, both to stifle dissidents' organizing efforts and to control what the world sees from inside Iran. The regime has tried to abduct you.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's because of your social media?
That's a very good question. Look, I'm only 45 kilos. I don't have any weapon, but I'm a threat for the regime just because of my social media platform. Every day, I get bombarded by people inside Iran sending videos to me, and I'm telling myself that this is a punishable crime for them. But they are doing it as an act of protest because they want to be heard.
I think it was one of the first brutal videos that came out that went super viral. And this kid, from the beginning of the video, you can see him, he's all alone, he's not armed. He's surrounded by these sadistic ISIS-type thugs, and they're just tasing him, just brutally beating him with those batons, and then finally the last guy, I think he actually kind of meant to kill the guy, because you don't shoot someone at close range with a shotgun in the face, even if it's just like pellets that you use for hunting birds. You know, it's a 50-50 chance. The guy's either dead or he's definitely not ever going to come out in the streets again.
Since protests began, a counter-effort to bring Iranians an alternate and unrestricted internet has been underway. On September 23, the Biden administration cleared the way for U.S. communications companies.
It authorizes companies to provide things like cloud services, privacy technology, security technology, hardware and software to enable the Iranians to better communicate among themselves and also with the rest of the world.
One of these companies is Elon Musk's Starlink, which beams broadband internet from several thousand small satellites in low orbit around the globe. The signal can be picked up only by a Starlink dish, which works only with a subscription that runs $110 a month. In Ukraine, Starlink has replaced the internet that was taken out by the Russian invasion. The U.S. government and its allies purchased thousands of dishes there, and Musk waived the subscription fee. In Iran, activists estimate that about 100 dishes have been smuggled in since the protests began.
Starlink has made a meaningful impact in Ukraine, but the difference in Iran is that the Iranian government is hostile to unfettered internet access, and there's no US presence in Iran. So both logistically and financially, getting Starlink terminals to Iran is significantly more difficult than it is to get Starlink terminals in Ukraine. Most of the Starlink terminals that have found their way to Iran have been sent by individuals and groups within the Iranian diaspora community.
Iran has a land border with 7 countries, with some routes more treacherous than others, and a rich history of smuggling, which benefits the protesters to some degree.
The Iranian government has to know that the same way that they haven't been able to prevent people from acquiring satellite dishes and iPhones and alcohol, they're not going to be able to prevent people from acquiring unfettered internet access because the demand is too enormous inside Iran. These terminals need to be available for sale in neighboring countries, so Iranians can fly to Dubai or Istanbul or another neighboring city for a weekend and pick up a terminal, or market forces take care of it.
Starlink cannot directly protect protesters, but it can dramatically amplify their voices on the world stage.
The Islamic Republic understands only one language, the language of pressure. They don't understand the language of diplomacy.
Iranians inside the country feel very much energized when they see global solidarity for their cause, and that inspires them to continue. And the courage and bravery of people inside Iran I think engenders more global solidarity.
Organizers say the goal is to get a few thousand Starlinks to the right people inside Iran. But the costs are substantial, which is why they're asking the US government and Musk for the same financial assistance provided in Ukraine.
For Iranians, unfettered internet access is like oxygen. It's like the air that they breathe.
I think 5,000, 8,000, 10,000 people needs to have Starlink, to have free internet, to express themselves. Believe me, when I say that Starlink and free internet is like saving lives in Iran, I mean it.